Parker Schnabel didn't stumble into fortune. He inherited a legacy built on grit, obsession, and generations of back-breaking work. Long before he was a TV star, his grandfather John Schnabel was braving the frozen wilderness of the Klondike, turning a lifetime of risk into a mining empire that made him a millionaire. Parker grew up watching that determination, and by age 5, he was already learning the trade. By 16, he wasn't just helping. He was running his own claim, earning a reputation as a born-and-bred mining prodigy. But here's the real question. After all the gold he's pulled from the earth, the million-dollar seasons, and the global fame from Gold Rush, just how rich is Parker Schnabel today? The answer is bigger, and more surprising, than you think. Let's dig in. The Schnabel Patriarch, John Schnabel. The Schnabel legacy began more than a century ago, when a young John Schnabel left everything behind and headed for the Klondike in the early 1900s. Life in the gold fields was brutal. Long winters, failed digs, and countless setbacks. But John was relentless. He learned the trade the hard way, stuck it out when most men quit, and over the decades, transformed himself into one of the Klondike's most seasoned miners. By the time he reached his later years, John had built a true fortune, a multi-million-dollar success born from grit, perseverance, and an unwavering belief that the next pan might hold something better. And the Schnabel legend didn't end with him. Parker, the gold prodigy. John's grandson, Parker, grew up idolizing him. While most kids were busy with toys and cartoons, Parker was following his grandfather through the mines of Haines, Alaska, wide-eyed as he watched real gold pulled from the earth. At just 5 years old, he was already obsessed with the rush of the mining world. By 10, he was running small excavators and learning to read the ground, and according to the crew, the kid had a natural instinct for finding gold that rivaled men twice his age. Everything changed when Parker turned 16. Instead of a birthday gift, John handed him responsibility, a section of his own claim, leased entirely to Parker. Suddenly, the teenager was in charge of payroll, equipment, fuel costs, and whatever gold he could produce. Many doubted a 16-year-old could handle it. Parker proved them wrong. He assembled a crew, worked relentlessly, and unearthed impressive amounts of gold from the ground. Word spread quickly. The Klondike had a new rising star, a young prodigy who seemed destined to carry the Schnabel legacy into a new era. Gold Rush and the rise to fame. By 2012, Parker Schnabel had already transformed himself into a full-fledged mining boss in the Yukon. While still barely out of high school, he was outsmarting veteran prospectors with smarter strategies, modern equipment, and the kind of confidence only raw talent can produce. It wasn't long before television producers took notice. Discovery Channel was developing a new reality series about modern-day gold mining, and Parker's drive, youth, and family legacy made him the perfect fit. After discussing the opportunity with his grandfather John, Parker agreed to let a camera crew follow him. That decision changed everything. From the moment Gold Rush premiered, Parker became one of the show's breakout stars. Viewers were drawn to his energy, his instinct for finding gold, and his determination to prove himself in a world dominated by older, more experienced miners. But fame didn't slow him down. It fueled him. Parker poured his earnings back into his Porcupine Creek operation, upgrading his machinery, hiring larger crews, and constantly pushing the limits of what a young miner could accomplish. His results spoke for themselves. By his early 20s, he was pulling more than 3,000 ounces of gold in a single season, raking in millions and setting records year after year. With Gold Rush amplifying his reputation and his mining success skyrocketing, Parker Schnabel went from a promising teenager to one of the industry's most formidable forces. He didn't just join the gold mining world, he reshaped it, carrying on the legacy. In 2016, the Schnabel family faced a heartbreaking loss. John Schnabel, The patriarch, the mentor, the man who built the family's mining legacy, passed away at 96. For Parker, it wasn't just the loss of a grandfather. It was losing the person who had shaped every part of his life. John had taught him everything: how to read a creek, how to run a crew, and how to keep going when the ground refused to give up its gold. Suddenly, Parker was on his own, carrying the weight of a legacy he wasn't ready to let go of, and he made himself a promise. He would honor his grandfather by pushing the family name further than ever. After laying John to rest, Parker took full control of Schnabel mining. He set ambitious new goals, bigger operations, higher yields, and new claims across the Yukon. One of his boldest moves was acquiring the legendary Eureka Creek, rumored to hold some of the richest untouched ground in the region. Overnight, Parker went from managing a single site to overseeing multiple large-scale operations. The stakes grew fast. More machines, larger crews, non-stop schedules, and massive operating costs. Every decision mattered. There were setbacks, too. Wrong hires, equipment failures, financial strain, moments where everything seemed close to collapsing. Competitors watched closely, expecting the young miner to finally stumble, but Parker refused to break. He analyzed every mistake, rebuilt his team, streamlined his strategies, and pushed harder than ever. Through every challenge, he could almost feel John's presence behind him, a reminder of the lessons that shaped him. And because of that determination, Parker didn't just keep the Schnabel legacy alive, he expanded it, transforming it into something even bigger than his grandfather ever imagined: eco-friendly mining and advocacy. As Parker's mining empire grew, so did his awareness of the place that made it all possible. The Yukon wasn't just a work site, it was a wild, stunning landscape, and Parker knew it needed to be protected. Even as production increased, he pushed his crews to mine smarter, not just harder. Parker soon became one of the region's strongest voices for environmentally responsible mining. He invested heavily in modern equipment designed to prevent chemical runoff and installed advanced filtration systems to keep sediment and contaminated water out of nearby rivers. When a claim was exhausted, his crew didn't just pack up and leave. They smoothed the ground, cleared debris, and replanted native vegetation. Slowly, wildlife began returning to the reclaimed areas, a clear sign the restoration efforts were working. Using the influence that came with his gold rush fame, Parker partnered with local officials to advocate for stronger environmental policies. He pushed for regulations that protected Yukon ecosystems while still allowing miners to operate responsibly. He even took younger miners under his wing, showing them how to turn a profit without destroying the land. In time, Parker became a leading example of how modern mining could evolve, proving that it was possible to find gold while still respecting the environment that held it. Thanks to his forward-thinking approach, the Yukon's natural beauty and its mining future have a better chance of coexisting for generations to come. Parker Schnabel's net worth. By his mid-20s, Parker Schnabel had already become a self-made millionaire, and a good portion of that came from his rise to fame on Gold Rush. As one of the show's breakout stars, Parker earned an estimated $100,000 per episode, adding up to roughly $2 million each season. And that was only the beginning of his earnings. On the mining side, the Schnabel family controls some of the most valuable claims in the Yukon. Under Parker's leadership, those claims began producing serious results. In one standout season, his crew pulled more than 3,500 ounces of gold, worth nearly $5 million at current prices. Season after season, the numbers climbed, bringing in millions more and solidifying Parker as one of the most successful young miners in the industry. His television fame also opened new doors. Companies lined up to collaborate with him, from heavy equipment brands to outdoor gear and workwear sponsors. Suddenly, Parker wasn't just a miner. He was a global figure with influence far beyond the Yukon. He reinvested that income wisely, expanding his fleet of trucks and machines, renting additional equipment to boost production, and putting money into real estate and other long-term assets. When you add it all together, the TV salary, the gold yields, the sponsorships, and the investments, Parker Schnabel's net worth is estimated at around $10 million and steadily growing. Not a bad outcome for a kid who once followed his grandfather around the mine, dreaming about striking gold. Lifestyle and investments. Despite earning millions before turning 30, Parker Schnabel has never embraced the flashy influencer-style lifestyle many expect from young millionaires. Instead, he keeps things grounded. For most of the mining season, he actually lives on-site in practical camp housing, close to the machines, the dirt, and the long days of work. He said more than once that he prefers being where the action is, and it shows. The majority of his earnings go right back into his mining operation, upgrading equipment, expanding claims, and fine-tuning his production systems. To Parker, reinvesting isn't just smart business. It's how you stay competitive in the Yukon. But when the season ends, he does allow himself a taste of comfort. Back home in Alaska, Parker owns a beautiful 45-acre estate just outside Haines. The centerpiece is a log cabin that looks like it belongs on the cover of an outdoor living magazine. Rustic wood beams, warm interiors, and panoramic mountain views. After months of non-stop work, the cabin becomes his sanctuary. It's where he can finally relax, sit by the fire, and enjoy a bit of peace before the next mining rush begins. And then there's his garage, which is more like a grown-up toy shop. Parker has poured money into high-end vehicles built for the rough terrain he navigates every day. His collection includes a Ford Raptor for off-road power, a Mercedes G-Wagon for those rare moments he wants some luxury, a classic Jeep Wrangler, the unofficial miner's badge of honor, and a custom Chevy Silverado outfitted with upgrades for Alaskan backcountry. Beyond his personal rides, Parker also maintains a massive fleet of mining trucks, loaders, excavators, and haulers that keep his operations running smoothly. Real estate has also become a major part of his post-gold rush strategy. Along with his Alaskan estate, he owns a commercial building in Haines that generates steady rental income and a vacation property in the Yukon that doubles as both an investment and a getaway close to his mining grounds. Bit by bit, Parker is building his own business empire, one property, one season, and one smart investment at a time. And when he finally takes a break from it all, Parker enjoys the good life in his own understated way. He'll take his fishing boat out on the Alaskan waters or travel abroad for a much-needed escape. Whether he's exploring rugged landscapes or unwinding somewhere halfway around the world, his lifestyle is a blend of adventure, simplicity, and the rewards of hard-earned success. Generosity and giving back. What truly sets Parker Schnabel apart isn't just the gold he finds, it's what he does with it. Despite his massive success, Parker hasn't forgotten the people who helped him along the way. His crew, many of whom have been with him since his early seasons, often receive surprise bonuses at the end of tough runs. Some years, Parker even treats them to luxury vacations as a thank you for surviving long hours, brutal weather, and non-stop pressure. Loyalty matters to him, and he makes sure his team knows it. But Parker's generosity extends far beyond the mine site. Alaska, the place that shaped him, remains close to his heart. Each season, a portion of his profits is donated to local charities, animal shelters, youth sports programs, and veteran support groups across the state. He knows how harsh Alaskan winters can be, long, dark, and unforgiving. For many families, a bad storm or a week-long power outage can mean real danger. So in the off-season, Parker volunteers his time delivering supplies, helping seniors, and supporting emergency housing projects. He's been known to roll up his sleeves, hammer nails, and help build affordable homes. No cameras, no crew, just genuine effort. And he's thinking about Alaska's future, too. Parker created a scholarship fund at his old high school to help students pursue careers in trades like mechanics, welding, or engineering, fields that keep Alaska running. It's his way of giving young people the kind of opportunities he once wished he had. The message he sends is clear. You don't have to strike gold to build a meaningful life. You just need drive, skill, and a little help. Hobbies and future plans. Mining may be Parker's life, but it's far from his only passion. Away from the noise of heavy machinery, he's a man of many interests. Over the years, he has written a series of books documenting his family's mining history. Stories of grit, danger, and triumph that became surprise bestsellers. He's also an avid traveler. One season ends, and Parker is off exploring, whether it's trekking through South American jungles, wandering through medieval ruins in Europe, or diving into the culture of places most people only dream about visiting. Back home in Alaska, he finds peace in fishing, hunting, and hiking the mountain trails where he grew up. Nature is where he resets. And there's one hobby that truly reveals his sentimental side. Parker is a collector of antique mining tools and relics. What others see as rusty old equipment, he sees as the history of his industry, a reminder of the people who carved the path before him. Even as he approaches 30, Parker's ambition hasn't slowed. If anything, his goals have gotten bigger. He's planning to expand beyond the Yukon, with eyes on British Columbia, the Northwest Territories, and even potential operations in South America, Australia, and Africa. His dream isn't just more gold, it's to build a global mining network powered by smarter, greener technology. Parker and his engineers are already experimenting with futuristic tools, automated mining systems, advanced sensors, and eco-friendly extraction techniques that could revolutionize the industry. He wants to show the world that modern mining can be both profitable and environmentally responsible. And then there's the future of the Schnabel legacy. Parker's niece, Amelia, has shown a strong interest in mining, tagging along during off-season visits. Parker has started teaching her the basics, just like his grandfather once taught him. One day, he hopes she'll take the reins. When that time comes, he imagines stepping back, not retiring completely, but focusing on big-picture strategy, new ventures, and, of course, a lot more travel. Now it's your turn. Do you think Parker Schnabel is the hardest-working star on Gold Rush, or is his fortune just getting started? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep-dive stories from us. Until next time.